The roar of the Pacific meets the whispers of the past along Washington's Long Beach Peninsula. Here, the cliffs of Cape Disappointment rise against a relentless sea, a place named for the treacherous waters and deadly sandbars that claimed countless ships. Mariners once called this stretch of coastline the graveyard of the Pacific. For generations, the lighthouse keepers who lived here bore witness to both tragedy and endurance, their lives as weather-beaten as the rocks below. Atop those cliffs stands the North Head Lighthouse, built in 1898 to guide sailors safely past the Columbia River bar. For over a century, its light has been a steadfast beacon, yet within the keeper's residence, history lingers in ways that the lantern cannot illuminate. Among its early residents was Mary Watson Pesonen, who arrived full of hope after marrying Alexander K. Pesonen, the lighthouse's first keeper. Together, they built a life shaped by isolation, routine, and the constant hum of the sea. Within their Victorian-style duplex, Mary's days were filled with quiet labors, tending a small garden that clung to the rocky soil, mending clothes by the hearth, preparing meals, and helping her husband record the rhythms of the tide and weather. The objects that surrounded her became part of her story. The wooden rocking chair worn smooth by time, the delicate tea set that marked her moments of solitude, the brass oil lamps whose glow once softened the darkness. These simple items were the heartbeat of her world, silent witnesses to a life both ordinary and profound. But life on the headland was not easy. The unending wind, the isolation, and the weight of solitude pressed upon Mary's spirit. In 1923, her melancholy deepened beyond reach. One morning, she walked along the cliffs with her loyal dog, Jerry. When he returned alone, anxious and trembling, Alexander followed, and found only her coat at the edge of the precipice. Whether accident or intention, Mary was gone, claimed by the sea she had watched for so many years. Since then, visitors to North Head have reported strange happenings: the creak of unseen footsteps, a rocking chair that stirs without wind, teacups that tremble, and lamps that flicker to life, though long untended. Some say Mary remains, and perhaps Jerry too, bound to the home and the objects that held her life together. Paranormal investigators have recorded unexplainable footsteps, moving shadows, and sensations of presence in the rooms she once inhabited. The North Head Lighthouse is no longer merely a place of navigation. It is a vessel of memory, echoing with the past. A former park volunteer once shared her own encounter during a late evening tour of the keeper's quarters. As she locked up for the night, she heard the faint sound of a woman humming, a tune that seemed to drift down the staircase, though no one else was inside. The air grew cold, and the old rocking chair in the parlor began to sway gently as if someone had just stood up. Then came a soft scratching at the door, followed by the low whine of a dog. When she opened it, there was nothing but fog rolling in from the sea. Later, she learned that Mary's dog, Jerry, was known for waiting by that same door long after his mistress disappeared. Mary's story and the objects she left behind remind us that antiques are more than artifacts. They are fragments of lives once lived, vessels of emotion, endurance, and love. Remember that some things just have a spark, a mirror with a little mystery, a jacket with real personality, a table that makes your space feel like no one else's. Collecting antiques, art, and vintage isn't just about celebrating the past. It's about finding pieces that speak to you and make everyday life a little more special. So next time you're out and about, check out your local antique mall, vintage show, or flea market. You never know what treasures are waiting to be found. And don't forget, when you reuse, recycle, and repurpose, you're not just decorating your home, you're helping preserve history and the planet, one beautiful piece at a time.
If you liked this podcast, please leave a rating here or a comment at urbanartantiques.com.